Well, welcome everyone. I'm Enrique Cerna of KCTS 9, and I'm here to be your MC for the evening because my good friend Maria Lamarck Anderson said you need to be here and be the MC, and I did. All right. My pleasure really to welcome you all to the celebration of Seattle College's 50 years of serving students in our community. And today we're going to hear a little about Seattle College's past and present and look ahead to Seattle College's future. I actually had lunch recently with Sheila Lang, and we were talking about the college up on Central anyway. And when I was a very young man in the mid-1970s and started my career here in Seattle, one of the first things I ever covered was a protest march at Seattle Central, which probably tells you what Seattle Central was all about. Anyway, actually it was a protest march by a group of Chicano students who were saying that they wanted more. And many of them became my friends and actually helped me just learn about Seattle, but also learn about where they were coming from. And I think the thing that really stands out to me about the community colleges and also Seattle Central and Seattle colleges is just the opportunity really for so many young people of color to be able to find a direction and an opportunity, and they found them there. And so that really stands out for me. Now, before we begin the program, I'd like to acknowledge some of the elected officials and college leaders that are here today. We have with us Seattle Mayor Ed Murray is here. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for being here. Deputy Mayor Heo Kim is here. There she is standing in the back. I don't know why you're standing in the back. We also want to acknowledge the former mayor of Seattle, Norm Rice. Where's he at? Norm? There he is. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, for being here. Chancellor Sean Pan is here. Here he is. Board Chair Teresita Batayola. There he is. Trustees Louise Chernin and Carmen Gayton. Thanks for being here. North Seattle College President Warren Brown. There's Warren in the back. Seattle Central College President Sheila Edwards Lang. Sheila, all right, there she is in the back. Why are you standing in the back? You know, come on, what's up with that? All right, and South Seattle College President Gary Ortley is here. I think he's over here. There you go, he's by the wine. Former Chancellors Jill Wakefield and Peter Q. And former trustees Phyllis Gutierrez-Kenny, Tom Malone, and Constance Rice. All right. Phyllis and I, what we have in common is that we're both from Wapato, Washington. Yeah, go Wolves, here we go. Now, to start things off, I'd like to invite Mayor Ed Murray, who's honoring Seattle College's role in our community with a proclamation. Mr. Mayor, good to have you here.
Thank you, Enrique, and I want to thank the folks who chose the balloons. Those just happen to be my campaign colors. Yeah. You know, I have a little special relationship with Seattle colleges, and actually with the entire community college system. In the House, when I was capital budget chair in the State House, I actually visited every single Seattle, or every single community college in the state. And it was truly an incredible experience to see the breadth and depth of programs that are offered, not just here in Seattle, but around the state. And you know, if one theme I have tried to emphasize as mayor, the theme has been equity first. And Seattle colleges, that's what they're about. They're about equity first. You know, they gave me a whole bunch of stuff to read here, but I think I'm just going to talk to you a little bit. You know, over the years, particularly at Seattle Central Community, or Seattle Central College, where I've lived near for the last 3 decades, it's been a real opportunity to see the different type of programs, the diverse students who go through there, the students who come out of there, who later I meet in life, in whether it's in politics or in science or at the University of Washington. That connection that Seattle Colleges is creating with the entire higher education community is so incredibly important. And it is one of the reasons why this year, in conjunction with Councilmember Harrell, I announced that we would fully expand our 13th year promise, which means that every Seattle public school student who graduates from one of our high schools can go to a Seattle college. That's our 13th year promise. We made it a few years ago and we kept it. And between the work you do and the work we do, we're going to change young people's lives. So a special thank you to all of you who were patient with us and to the council for stepping up as well. And so with that, I'm going to do this thing that Mayor Norman Rice knows really well. I get to do this like proclamation thing. And I won't read you the full proclamation, but it is important to acknowledge that on April 3rd, 1967, then Governor Daniel G. Evans signed the Community College Act, creating access to higher education statewide, and that the Seattle College District was established, first represented by Seattle Central College, soon joined by North Seattle College, and then South Seattle College. And so with that, it is my honor, along with the City Council of the City of Seattle, to declare today, April 15th, 2017, to be Seattle Colleges Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it. I actually saw Dan Evans yesterday, and at 90-something, the guy looks like he could, climb another mountain or something. He's in tremendous shape. Wonderful governor, too. It's now my honor to introduce our next speaker, Constance Rice. Constance has a rich history with the colleges, serving as a vice chancellor, interim president, and trustee. For her many contributions to the district, the Constance Rice Partner of the Year Award was established upon her retirement from the colleges 4 years ago. Please welcome Constance Rice.
Thank you, Enrique, and I have to acknowledge I have a bit of laryngitis. My husband was grateful to the laryngitis because it meant that my speaking ability was not as loud and forceful as usual. But I am just delighted to be here. This feels like old home week, seeing so many friends from our community college family, so many friends from the University of Washington family, and so many of my colleagues in the past. I must say, I noticed they had a collage of pictures of all of us in our former years, and we still recognize each other because one of the magics of being in the community college sector is that we're all young. So it's my pleasure to be sort of a semi-historian tonight, to read a bit about our history and to re-celebrate why we're happy to be in this glorious environment that we're in. So, who knew when Seattle Central opened its doors to 11,000 students in 1966 that in 50 years the district would have served in excess of 2 million folks? Back then, the Puget Sound Regional Transportation Study concluded that real rapid transit wasn't feasible, instead proposing 2 new highways and bridges. Wouldn't its authors be very surprised that today a light rail station on one end and the other on Capitol Hill exists and is expanding to the Northgate area, or that a water taxi transports West Seattle residents to downtown? The district has changed and morphed many times over the years, and it's my pleasure again to share what's happening now. I know many of you have a relationship with the district or one of the campuses, but how much do you really know beyond that? I can tell you that when I was a trustee back I met many in the community who didn't know the depth and breadth that the district encompassed. Seattle Central opened its doors September 1966 North Seattle and South Seattle opened 4 years later. In 1970, we also know that during that period soon after, Seattle Vocational Institute joined the district in 1991 under the state's Workforce Training and Education Act. Since then, 5 specialty centers have opened throughout the city. The Georgetown campus houses the district's apprenticeship and education center. The Health Education Center in this very building, nice panorama, is a state-of-the-art facility that is training the next generation of healthcare workers. The new Holly Learning Center on Beacon Hill offers an array of programs for those seeking to improve their literacy and employment skills. And the Seattle Maritime Academy recently opened a new building in Ballard to help meet the growing needs for mariners. The Wood Technology Center at the edge of the Central District prepares woodworkers for living wage careers. These specialty centers are integral to the more than 135 education and training programs the district offers today on its main campuses. Those 135 include short-term certificates, 2-year and transfer degrees. The district also offers Bachelor of Applied Science degrees in high-growth industries, making a 4-year degree both affordable and accessible for working adults. The district has developed other programs and services to accommodate students who otherwise need a non-traditional class schedule and format. Classes are now offered in online and hybrid formats, in the evenings and on weekends. Well, what does the future hold in terms of academic offerings? Throughout its history, Seattle Colleges has reflected our community and responded to its needs. So I'm certain they will continue to do just that. We can all expect the 2- and 4-year programs will serve the students and community where they are geographically, demographically, and economically situated. I'm proud to have been a part of the Seattle College's rich legacy and honored to share its story with you. I'm honored also to look at the room and know that it was built by the pillars of our many wonderful chancellors. Well, all past chancellor and our future chancellor that's here, and I say future chancellor because you're here, but your future in the sense that your vision is going to be deep and mighty. Would you please stand, all former chancellor and current chancellor? Thank you very much. I'd like to thank them and also thank the governance structure which has kept its relationship with the community and with our electeds firm and strong. And may we get more money for our venture in the community colleges. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Constance. Sean Pan joined Seattle Colleges as Chancellor last July after 8 years as President at Mesa Community College. He previously served other executive roles at Broward College, Florida State College, Community College of Philadelphia, and Northern Arizona University. Please welcome Chancellor Sean Pan.
Thank you, Enrique. I echo speakers before me in greeting all of you, expressing my gratitude to join in tonight to celebrate this great milestone of 50 years of Seattle Colleges. Our predecessor, the Edison Technical School, was created in 1946, driven by then the urgent need to provide vocational training and post-secondary education to returning World War II veterans and the youth in our community. Today, after 50 years, with the dedication and pioneering work of thousands upon thousands of faculty, staff, students, trustees, administrators, legislators, city and government officials and community supporters, Seattle Colleges has evolved, matured into a comprehensive flagship community college district in the state of Washington. Today we find ourselves in a similar moment in time, perhaps even more relevant to the growth and the vitality of our city, region, and even our state. And at a time where most needed, we're facing more challenges than ever before in our history. As we look towards the future, the next 50 years, I want to realistically share with you a set of challenges and opportunities as we're preparing for tomorrow. Our challenges really stem from several factors in our environment. First of all, it's really the shifting demographics. While we see so many young talent from outside the region making six-figure salaries, we also see local youth, indeed, struggling to balance getting a college degree and making a living. We have some students who come into our class hungry. Some live in their cars, some live in temporary quarters. The very sector of Seattle's population that needs post-secondary credentials the most, that is the low-income families, the unemployed, the homeless, and the marginalized youth, is moving farther away from our college campuses simply because they cannot afford to live in the city. Another force is posed by the double-edged sword of the fast-moving great economy. People have gone back to work, and which means fewer of them are attending our campuses. The recession drove our enrollment really high in 2010-11. Our student numbers have since declined continuously, and we, in many ways, have been slow in adjusting to that new reality. This relates to our third challenge, that is the new state funding model, which is based on enrollment and performance, will likely mean a cut about $4 million to our budget. This affects our ability to provide students with much needed scholarship and fair compensation to our faculty, staff, and administrators, and our ability to maintain cutting-edge facilities that is critical to providing high-quality education training for a healthy learning environment. Combined, we truly face a deficit $8 to $10 million in the next few years. There are constant news reports that few regions in the world can really top Seattle's boom and prosperity. In fact, when I talk to colleagues around the country, they do not believe me when I say, share with them our difficulties with securing financial stability. They don't see the parallel to this good fortune is the widening disparity between the rich and poor. And we are in fact fallen behind, in some ways, behind the peer institutions across the country. I can go on with other issues, but suffice to say, with the arrival of the new global and regional economy, we have come to a unique moment in Seattle College's future. How will we address these challenges and secure long-term viability of Seattle Colleges? How do we build upon our proud legacy of excellence in teaching, learning, innovative programming, and training, a legacy that's built by many leaders before me, including Phyllis Kenny, Peter Koo, Tom Malone, Constant Wright, Jill Wakefield, who are here with us today. Thank you for your leadership, for making us shaping Seattle Colleges. Thank you for your strong leadership over the years. Looking ahead, we know we cannot be content with the status quo. We have to reconceptualize, reorganize, reinvent, and renew. Currently in the development of our next strategic plan, that is directed by our Board of Trustees. The trustees really want to see this institution, this district, is guided, supported by a set of strategic principles. A part of the process, we are reviewing our mission vision and strategic goals to ensure they are in alignment and still relevant in these challenging times. While still under development, we have identified some tentative goals that are focused on preparing students for the new economy and responding to Seattle's needs for a mid-level skilled workforce. Top one on our list is student success. To ensure all students, regardless of their prior level of academic preparation or personal circumstances, move closer to or achieve their academic, career, or personal goals. This has always been and will continue to be our focus above all things. This includes ensuring that academic offerings, our course scheduling, administrative decision-making, resource allocation are student-centric and conducive to learning, persistence, retention, and completion. Another goal is to achieve physical stability, a goal that is urgent and significant for our current operations and future vitality. We will practice strategic enrollment practice, improve student persistence and completion rates, improve our operational efficiency and diversity, strengthen our revenue sources including grants and private fundraising. Our third goal is civic engagement and creating stronger, broader community partnerships. We already enjoy a solid relationship with many partners, including our city. Thank you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, for joining us today, and we will continue to value strengthen this partnership. The Mayor just mentioned the city's and City Council's commitment to expand the 13-year scholarship. So thank you for that commitment. We will work closely with the Office of Economic Development, and just in a moment, we'll hear from Director Brian Surratt shortly. We have an articulation agreement with Seattle Public Schools. I know the Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Trolley, is here, which this articulation is very important, helps to smooth the transition between high school and our college. I'm especially energized about this because we're taking on the very issue of 30 to 35% of high school graduates today that do not go on to post-secondary education. Of all the students who continue, we also know a fraction, 36% that actually complete. The result of this is in King County alone, we have more than 15,000 youths who are not in school, who do not have stable jobs. We're working with the schools to ensure that all youths, especially the marginalized, the undersourced, access complete a post-secondary education through Seattle colleges. Employees require a well-trained, skilled labor supply. We have heard that call. Today, 52% of Seattle College students actually are enrolled in a career or technical education program. We will reach out and work even more closely with our business partners to bring about curricular innovation, offering more relevant programs in a much more responsive manner. We will strengthen our articulation, working closely with University of Washington, Washington State University, and other providers of four-year universities in the city, in our region, to help facilitate easier and smoother transfer processes. We welcome the support, advocacy of educational, civic, and business partners to fully recognize the significance and the value of a community education. We know our graduates are well trained. They meet and exceed the qualifications for entry and mid-level skilled workers jobs. And we know they do well academically at the transfer universities. Our final goal is organizational effectiveness. And we're looking for that completion of the strategic plan before we take on this challenge. Given our immediate and long-term financial challenges, we're evaluating our organizational structure, staffing patterns, operational processes, and organizational habits in an effort to become more efficient and more effective with our limited resources. We need to ask ourselves this question: where can we avoid duplication and support differentiation while continuing to preserve the strengths, uniqueness of our colleges and the specialty centers? Moving forward, we want to strengthen the unique strengths of our colleges and their unique strengths in the city. We will also be intentional in elevating the collective identity and the impact of Seattle Colleges District as an integrated higher education institution. We have initiated the review redesign of 3 operational practices. We have integrated our nursing programs, and other departments' programs are following the suit, with faculty district-wide collaborating to share resources and best practices. Across our campuses, we're finding ways to improve what we do the best. That is to provide excellent, accessible education opportunities to prepare our students for a challenging future. I must tell you, I'm very enthusiastic and optimistic about our collective future. My confidence comes from talented, dedicated faculty staff, from our experienced, visionary, and coordinated Board of Trustees, from the support of our state, city elected officials, from our state associations. When we successfully address our challenges, we will be in a better position, indeed, a much stronger position to help all residents in our community. In the meantime, you can count on us, as you have done since the 1960s, 70s. We will continue to be responsive, innovative, and nimble in responding to your training needs. We will align our academic programs and intellectual instructional delivery methods to contribute viable, relevant solutions to the challenges we face together in our community. This commitment starts from a resolution, a determination, and a focus on students, the community, the business of Seattle for the next 50 years. This, indeed, is a perfect moment for all of us to rededicate ourselves to our fundamental mission for Seattle and its citizens, business, civic organizations, and diverse community that not only depend but also sustain us. This is our shared moment in time. A pause after 50 years of dedicated services to say thank you, to celebrate our successes, and to recharge for the next 50 years. Let's recommit to forging our collective future together. Thank you. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to invite our Board of Chair, Trustee Barayola, Chair of Seattle Board of Trustees, CEO of International Community Health Services, to come to the platform. Barayola.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pan. You know, gold is that most precious of metals, and I really believe that the Seattle Colleges is that most precious of metals. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I do want to thank and acknowledge our leadership who has brought us this far. The college presidents, President Sheila Edwards-Lang, President Gary Ortley, President Warren Brown. I've lost track of you. Hey, there you are. The executive team, and they're scattered all over the room, but also the previous Board of Trustees who have gotten us here, gotten us this far. And now it's up to us to take that next level of challenge. And we have our new chancellor who's here, who's taken up the gauntlet. And as daunting as the challenges are that he has painted, we have golden opportunities in front of us. And it will take all of us in this shared moment in time to be able to seize those golden opportunities, be able to work together, move forward together, because we want to make sure that the next 50 years are solidly there for all of the people in the city who need us to be that transformative, affordable factor in their lives. Much as certain quarters in the national leadership want to deny it, education is still that most transformative opportunity that is accessible and affordable, and that's Seattle colleges. So when Chancellor Pan arrived, we charged him with taking a comprehensive look at the district's operations and develop ways to move forward strategically to secure its future. But we also did not wait for his results. We said, we want to see student success, we want to see sustainability, we want to make sure that we are engaged in the life of our city and our communities, that's civic engagement, and we want to make sure we have partners, and at the same time that you're doing all of this, make sure that we're organizationally excellent. Now I notice he said organizationally effective, so I guess for his first year, we'll give him that one. But we need to align these opportunities, and that's why we're doing a new strategic plan for the district, and we're going to full force to try and benefit from those opportunities. I know Seattle colleges will be an even stronger institution of higher learning for the community we serve, for our employees, our businesses and civic partners, and most of all, our students. They are the reason we exist, and their future is in our hands. It is so important for us to work in partnership with every single one of you in this room and every single one of the people that you touch also. For their successes, our students' successes, will be your success. Once our students leave our halls, whether it's to go to work or to go to the universities that they transfer to, our students will be walking through your doors as contributing employees, contributing members of the community, and hopefully the leaders who will help shape our communities. So now I invite you to join me in watching the videos celebrating our students.
I feel like a sense of community.
And everybody is like welcoming, trying to help you, especially like the teachers.
This has, been the best few years of my life, I think.
Seattle colleges, in my opinion, integrate very well with the community. No matter what part of Seattle is in, North Seattle, South Seattle, Central Seattle, downtown, uptown. Not only do they make themselves part of the community, they make people feel important.
I'll give you a perfect example. A few weeks ago, last quarter, I was sitting looking confused in the class, so much so that a teacher, instructor stopped and said, "You look confused. How can I help you?" I see instructors from past classes that remember you and stop in the hallway and say, "How's it going? Are you getting what you need?" So that, for me, is a home run.
Students can get the same education or just as good as an education as going to a full-time university for like a fraction of the cost.
That rate helps out, gives people an option to do something they thought that was not reachable.
I want to build beautiful houses.
I think this college is preparing me because it's giving me options of all these different classes I can take that help me figure out exactly what I want to do. Like, I got to take a psychology of gender class, and I feel like at a lot of universities that wouldn't even be an option.
I'll learn how to wire, how to split wire, how to run into studs, wiring wires together to make a switch or a plug, like learn how to do a lot of things.
Yesterday I learned about like racism in like a workplace, and I learned like the different amendments, like Title VII and like the different categories of race and stuff.
Well, we're learning like standards on stud spacings, and we're also learning on how to read blueprints, how to use lasers, so we'll be exact on measurements and all that stuff.
And I'm learning how to install stuff like drywall and windows and stuff like that.
Right now, I'm working on starting a startup defense company for aerospace.
If we're all learning and growing together in a safe and awesome environment, then we'll all go out into our community and be productive members and be able to be nurses or whatever, electricians or whatever, a psychologist or whatever you want to be.
Right now, I don't really know what I want for my future. I just want to know I want to get ahead in my future.
Most of the professors here are really good with helping you get on track to who you are, and I feel it was a great place to figure that out.
And I talked to a lot of my friends from my old job and told them that, you know, if you're looking to go back to school, there's no better time than now.
That's one of the things I love about this school is that there's people just from all ages, all over the world, people who are just starting out, people who are coming back to school, people who are learning English or learning other languages, learning skills that will bring them into the future.
Father-son? Father-son, yep. Yeah, that's right. Why don't you tell them, starting with Chief Self and your running start?
Oh, well, Chief Self, junior year, we decided Running Start was the option for me, and I signed up for South Seattle, passed the Compass test, and am working on my associates along with graduating high school.
Right, and I am a returning sort of a career change person, and I've always had an interest in the sciences, and so I thought that since I had gone here before, that South would be a good place to sort of pursue that and help me get on my path.
Everybody wants to support you. Everybody wants you to succeed. And just coming to a place where you feel that sense of community and you feel that sense of passion, you really want to succeed.
Well, the reality is, like, I work, I come to school every day, and at the same time you have to study.
I come all the way out here from Tacoma, so I travel quite a ways to get what I'm getting here. What I love about North is it's really close to my home in Ballard. It's a quick bus ride.
Absolutely do it. If you want to do it just to like learn a new skill, gain some broader knowledge about the world, or just as a stepping stone to a higher education.
I would say, yeah, go for it. I mean, why not? If you're on the fence about really what you want to do, then this is a good way to figure it out.
To enjoy yourself, be prepared to learn, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
The program here is, I mean, I'd even venture to go towards perfect.
Thank you for giving me a place to learn. I've learned a lot here.
A fantastic school, and I'd like to thank all the instructors who have had the burden of dealing with me for the past year I've been going here.
Thank you for, I don't know, 50 years. That's quite a lot. It's almost older than my parents.
It's a health century, so it's pretty cool.
Thanks for all the professors, all the advisors, everyone else who comes and helps out.
I would say thank you for providing a campus that's, you know, warm and inviting and affords us not only an education, but somewhere we can grow as individuals as well.
A lot of the professors have really helped me out, and I really appreciate this college, and I'm happy it's been here 50 years. Hopefully it'll be 100 one day.
Wasn't that a great video? I love those videos because they really remind us kind of why we're here. You know, a lot of us go to a lot of stuffy meetings and events, and we need those reminders. And all those faces that you saw are the reminders. I really love the father and son tandem, and I'm trying to imagine going to class with my father, what that would be like. So, best behavior the entire time. But watching the video actually reminded me of, Dr. Bryce, when you were speaking, you talked about the history of the college district and the 50 years and the 2 million people that have come through the various doors of the colleges. I think we all know someone or a group of people that have benefited from the education that received at Seattle colleges. Just if you bear with me, I have 2 examples in my own personal life. There's a young gentleman that I had the pleasure of mentoring when I first moved to Seattle back in 1998. He was second generation Southeast Asian American kid, senior at Roosevelt, didn't really know what was in store for him, what he wanted to do, single family home. And I asked him, finally, like, what do you like? What do you like to do? And he said, I love food. I was like, all right, like food? We all like food. Have you ever thought about the community college, culinary arts? He said, why not? And I have had the pleasure of following him over the past 19 years now, kind of where he is. And he started out as a line chef at the various restaurants along the waterfront. He went to Fair Start, got a break at Fair Start, was the retail manager in their lunchtime piece. And because of his background, he was able to be a bridge for so many of the people coming through. A group of investors discovered him. I said, we are going to invest several millions of dollars in you and being our chef at one of my favorite restaurants, you check it out, on First and Spring, called Heartwood Provisions. They opened up about a year ago. And I'm so proud of him, kind of where he's come, and he never forgets that opportunity that was provided by the college did for him and going forward. And I was joking with him the first time I went. I was like, because he lived in Beacon Hill at the time. I was like, the menu is really nice, but it's kind of pricey. How's this Beacon Hill kid demand prices like that at a restaurant? But he's an example of that. Another example is my wife. And we talk about, the couple of examples there of people transitioning in their careers. My wife was an accountant. And one day she said, I'm kind of bored of being an accountant. No offense to any accountants out there, but she's like, I want to change. And we talked about it. And I said, let's figure this out. What are you interested in? And she said, how about nursing? And I said, okay, let's go to the community college and figure out what that pathway looks like. And as she dug in, and the college was so great because they helped her navigate, okay, you're an adult, you've had experience in the workforce and you're transitioning. So the expectations are a little different. We're going to walk you through what you need to do. And the college was so great to her, getting her through her requisites and all the things that she needed to do, become a nurse. And she's a proud nurse for 10 years at Seattle Children's Hospital. And again, those 2 examples are exactly why we're here, to shine a light on young people who may have talent but not know exactly where they need to go. And for those folks who are looking to make a change in our highest growth, highest demand fields in our region, and giving them the necessary tools to make that change. And again, that is why we're here. Those 2 examples that I gave you, I feel like talk about the unique role of Seattle colleges. By its very nature, it has to be flexible. It has to be driven by the demands of essentially, when I essentialize it to 2 clients, student and to employers in the broader economy. Their demands and their needs in many ways drives all the investment that is taking place at the college level, all the decisions you're making at the college level. Meeting those demands is paramount. And you have the flexibility. I can't think of any other educational institution that can meet those demands with that kind of flexibility. And so I think there is a challenge for all of us when we leave this room, is to remind our neighbors, our colleagues, our partners in business that there is that unique role of the colleges, and we must recognize that and see how we can support that going forward. Dr. Pan laid out a very bold and ambitious vision for the colleges and talked about some of the challenges and the opportunities that come with that. And they're real. We're in an environment where demand for really moving the needle on student performance and doing that efficiently and effectively with excellence are high. And when we talk about partnerships in our office, we're very thoughtful. You know, the mayor talked about the 13th year promise and our commitment to that. And that's an important one. Because since the start of his administration, he's linked equity, education, and economic mobility as one continuum. And our office, when we think about our partnership with the college, we think with that lens. And we try to add value whenever we possibly can. And a couple areas where we're really interested in partnering, in many ways, reflect kind of my own personal story with my wife around what can we do to support adults who are in the workforce, who are low-income wage earners, take that next step and guide them into industries that have high demand, and frankly meet their needs too as adult learners, and recognizing their need for flexibility. But we also want to push the envelope in new spaces around technology. We're very proud that the college was a recipient of a grant from the Obama administration around Tech Hire, which were specifically looking at young people of color, women, and formerly incarcerated, and trying to get them the skills to access jobs in our tech community. It's wonderful that we're importing talent from other regions in the country, but there's plenty enough jobs to go around where we can make sure that kid from Rainier Beach, Beacon Hill, can also be skilled up to access those jobs, and the college is playing a critical role in doing that. Those are the opportunities that we want to continue to really double down and really invest in. And what I implore and ask of you is to continue and join us in that partnership. Chancellor Pan has asked us and kind of set out a challenge to all of us. We are in an inflection point in our economy, with the national issues and concerns and what's happening locally. Can we manage this growth? Can we make sure that the people who are living in our community can access those jobs? And no institution can do this by themselves. And that's why the partnership between the colleges and the city is critical. The colleges and the University of Washington is critical. Really pushing and engaging the state on making sure that they fulfill their commitment to invest in higher education. And with employers themselves, they have to understand what an asset is here. So when you leave this room tonight, you'll continue doing what you're doing, which is being great partners. But I think what we're asking you is a little more, whether it's thinking about a table that you're setting that requires educational leaders there. Make sure that the college is there. If there's an employer that's looking for their talent pipeline, make sure that the college is there and they understand what's happening at the colleges. So there are ample opportunities for folks to partner, and I encourage you to join your colleagues who are here and your friends to continue that. And I look forward to working on behalf of the city. I look forward to working with Chancellor Pan and the colleges going forward. And thank you very much, and I invite Enrique back to close the evening. Thank you.
All right, let's give a big round of applause to all of our speakers and to 50 years of Seattle Colleges. And I also want to acknowledge the folks at SCCTV for their work in the video, including my former Como colleagues, John Sharifi and Tom Butterworth. Yeah. And you can become ambassadors for Seattle Colleges today with your limited edition reusable tote bag. It will come in handy for picnics. Surely the sun will come out sometime, someday soon. So, yeah, boy, let's pray for that one. So enjoy it and share the Seattle Colleges story. We're here until 6 o'clock. Enjoy the celebration, have a little bit more wine and food. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.